One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam! Rob Van Dam!
I'm Rob Van Dam. The whole show.
Hey, welcome. It is Sunday. It is not Thursday, but we're live, and it's on RVDTV.com and Rob Van Dam's YouTube channel. It is One of a Kind with guess who? Guess who? It's RVD. Rob, good to see you, man. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, again, thanks for taking the time off. I know it was a busy day at church.
It was.
Didn't we just have that conversation?
We did. We had an in-depth conversation last week.
Around Sundays now.
Is that our new home? Sundays? You go to church and then you go watch RVD.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
All good, dude. How are you?
Hanging in there. It's a little hot here in Pittsburgh, but I've been staying busy all day today. I woke up at 5:30 and I've been up ever since, but I'm happy to do the show here with you. And we got some familiar folks here in the chat. Jem the Dawn, Maddie is here. Mike Riggs, newcomer. Ricky Jordan, I see in here. Candido fan, old fat guy, BMX. Holy smokes, we got a whole bunch of folks in here ready to chat. And so if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them. Use the super chat. We'll definitely get to those. And I always try to keep my eyes peeled anyway. Chelsea's in the house too. Rib Shot's here too. All right, good stuff. But hey, Rob, we got somebody else here too with us, don't we?
Yes, we do. We have a guest, the OG from RVD Radio, way back. Let's bring him on, Bruce Jingles. Stand up.
Welcome, Bruce Jingles.
RVD, motherfucker.
Yeah. I used the fuck out of that soundbite that he gave me on RVD Radio. That was like the whole show was actually built just around that.
Yeah.
Around
it kind of was. How are you, man?
Pretty good, dude. Everything's awesome. I know
I see that.
we stay in touch a little bit via text, but we used to we used to hang out more. We hiked up to the Hollywood sign together and did a lot of stand-up comedy shows together. But we got a little distance when one time after not talking to you for a while, I wanted to vent about my evil ex. And I went to say like, oh my God, dude, you wouldn't believe, because he knew her really well, and you wouldn't believe how she flipped and the evil bitch she's been doing these horrible things to try to ruin my life. And you said what? He said, up. I can't hear it, Rob. I'm equal friends with both of you, and I like her just as much, so I don't want to hear it. Something like that.
Sorry, man.
No, I know.
I know. I hated that whole thing. I feel like it's such a dick. I have a vein going down my chest that I'm that much of a dick.
No, but let's talk about it, though. I mean, I just, you just said, he didn't say, equal friend, but he just said, I'm friends with both of you. And I was just like, I know you're not. So I just said, fuck that, because then I just took it as he is her friend and not someone, that's gonna be even neutral, let alone. But anyway, but then you said that was because your girlfriend was friends with her and now you're not with her or some shit like that.
Yeah, and just basically I just stepped away from everything. I had my own things to deal with, but while thinking of possibly have lost a good friend. You know what I mean? When I wasn't trying to. Like any relationship, it takes time. If you haven't argued with your friend, they're not your friend. That's that's all I can say. I'm always going to be there for Rob.
But do you believe in like the
magic?
Damn, what are those guys' names now that do the fucking stupid pranks?
The
the Practical Jokers dudes.
Impractical Jokers.
No, they have the movies. Johnny Knoxville's one of them.
Oh, Jackass.
Jackass.
No, okay, all right. Let me back up again. Do you subscribe to the Jackass value that if you haven't seen your friend's butthole, then he's not really he's really not your friend.
No. I got a lot of not friends because I got a lot of not friends.
That's one thing about those guys. I always think that, like all of them, like they do, like they know every single inch of each other's bodies from all.
That's too much, dude. I don't
That's a
know.
lot. That's a lot.
Like I have trouble changing at the gym. I don't know how you guys do in the locker room. Like, what I mean? I'm just looking at other people's dicks. It's like I can't do that.
Well, usually when I drop my shorts, all the guys leave the locker room anyway.
They're just like, hey,
yeah, I know how that is. Especially when you the big black dude in the locker room. Then I clear it out.
So, but you said, I know you've been through some stuff too, and then I know you wanted to push your stand up. What's up with your stand up? You when and where did you do the hour special or however many hour special?
Yeah, it's my first hour special where I'm the star. Rob knows that I've been on other comedy specials, but I've never been the star. I've always been the supporting, and finally, unfortunately, at the same time, because my mother passed away during this whole spell that Rob and I weren't really talking too much. My mom passed away, and so she left me an inheritance, which I used to remodel the apartment that it's mine. Because if I would have had the complex I live in do it, they would hype the hell out of my rent and all that shit. So
right,
I update. I got the people that do that remodel the apartments for the new tenants. I paid them under the table. They came in, did it in 3 days. I got that together, made it my own. Then I caught COVID and I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. My mother, I hadn't even buried my mother yet. So you going through all that and in isolation for 2 weeks and you're going through your head. And I said, and I told myself if I came out of that, I would produce my own special. So as soon as the day I got out, I just started putting it together, and with the help of a friend of mine, Steve Race, he's in the Directors Guild. He and his film company, Race Films, they took care of everything. So we had 9 cameras, all 4K cameras, because I don't believe in 3K because that's scary shit. If people got that.
Oh, I just got it.
So they had to be 4K.
Yeah, I just got it.
And I had the boom, the mic, the crane, everything, all set up. And with the help of a company called Precision Industrial, which did the background to the special. I don't know if you guys saw it. The background where the improv sign. It's normally up there in the background, and it said Bruce Jingles in the improv font.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Yeah, and I didn't even have to take it down. What they did was they put a fake brick wall and they layered the letters on the brick wall and mounted it up on top of the wall. So nothing, so the wall didn't get harmed anyway. I had to pay $5,000 to film at the Ontario Improv, which is my home improv. And we did 2 shows, which sold out amazingly. The day I announced it, they both sold out.
Sweet.
That day. So each show had 350 people. It was just amazing.
Awesome. You got 2 shows, so you can edit back and forth on the camera angles.
Yeah.
Nice.
And basically we just used the entire second show. Both shows were were amazing, but the second show was just I don't put it this way. I don't remember going up. I just remember going up, and I just blacked out. Now I was completely sober when I did it. RVD. Okay, I was completely sober when I did it. I would just.
Your nerves were so different just because all the pressure you put on yourself, or you're thinking about all the people that are going to see it compared to the other 2,000 times you've been at the Improv.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking about my mom.
Yeah, okay.
And that it was, this was for her, and so I couldn't fuck it up, because her ghost would come back and slap me across the head, and and it was amazing, and again, standing O, it was amazing, and it came the recording came out amazing. Then the whole problem was shopping the damn thing, because Rob, how it is. You get all these people that say they're going to help you get this, like with your documentary and everything. All these people are going to help you get this to this person and this person, and then they don't do shit. So it was a bunch of that for a year, till finally I hooked up with Adam and Mendoza and
Adam Wentz.
Adam Mendoza and his sister Ileana. They have Mendoza Brothers distribution. They got me a distribution deal. The first, it's now on an app right now called In the Black Network. It's not the Black Network. That's BET. It's In the Black Network, and it's an app. You can download the app, and you can purchase the special for $6. So you can purchase and have it for your very own.
Oh, hey.
And like I said, all proceeds go to charity, and I'm the charity. But again, people can own it for themselves, and they can check it out. It's probably, I think it's the best special out right now, because I think a lot of the specials out there
kind of mix, kind of hum a little bit.
Yeah, because comedy has again changed. It's in a weird state now. Everybody's doing this goddamn crowd work like Matt Rife and everything, but they never talk about the perils of crowd work, that not every crowd is going to get that. Like, how many times did he have to record that set to get that out there to you to make it look like a perfect set?
Right. Hey, big pro wrestling weekend coming up here with WWE. They got WWE Evolution, and they got WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. You can have a little bit of fun with my bookie. All you got to do is deposit a minimum of $45. You get 50% added to that deposit. And hey, if you're feeling like it, Goldberg is quite the underdog against Gunther. He's plus 550. So if you wanted to see what could happen, if you have a little belief and demand, then you can bet and see what Goldberg can do. Also, Seth Rollins is heavily favored against LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre matches on tap as well that you can bet. So take a look at it. Go to mybookie.website/RVD. Use promo code RVD and put a minimum deposit of $45. You get 50% of that added to it. So check it out. I can't wait to see what Saturday Night's Main Event presents. I can't wait to see what Evolution presents. You can have a little bit more fun here with my bookie. Try it out, guys.
You know what I'm saying? So you had to deal with that. One of the perils I had to deal with too was since I produced it myself, I paid for everything. Since I produced it myself, it was harder to sell to like Netflix, because they want their own shit. They want to produce their own shit. They don't want anything self-produced. They don't want to push new acts and a lot. And their thing was, oh, it's great, but nobody knows them. Well, put them out there. Well, if nobody knows them, aren't you the vehicle to do that, to get out there? So it was a lot of. It's been an ordeal. Like, I damn near had to go homeless. Almost went homeless twice. Just to make sure some things were taken care of as far as the special went. Like, now I'm dealing with getting a getting a PR firm to market the special too. There's a lot of different things that go into having a special. I used to think that they don't give you specials specials aren't. You do your own special. You don't wait for somebody to come give you a special. They're not going to do that.
Right. Yeah.
You have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I did it myself. I owned it, and I'm very proud of it. And I hope your viewers enjoy it. And I personally think it's the best special that's out right now.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. I'll definitely have to check it out.
Good job seeing it all the way through, dude.
Yeah.
I remember how much we talked about it.
I know you've always wanted to do that.
And because it's the only logical thing. If you have the funds, and I had the funds to do it, I'd have been stupid not to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would have been back. I would have been.
You're talking about doing it in San Pedro at that theater at one time, like 15 years ago or longer. It seems like, and yeah, I would like to do that sometime. It's I don't care when, but sometime I think it would be cool to do that, to work on a an
one-man show,
really, really good set, all my favorite shit, and boom, go out there and kill it. That would be cool to have, right? But I don't have the passion for it that you do, like I'm like, people say like, you do stand-ups? Like, dude, it's on my YouTube. If you want to watch it, it's there. You know what I mean? If not, then whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, but you can do it. Unlike some of the other wrestler / comedians that are out there, you're one of the better ones simply because you don't do anything about wrestling.
Right.
It's just yeah.
And
did you do the Jericho cruise?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, I fucking destroyed that. In 2 shows, the first show was the first night we got on the cruise. There was 800 people there,
Nice.
But the theater holds 3,000.
Holy shit!
How many does the boat hold?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
What does the whole boat hold?
The whole boat holds about 6,000.
Dang.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy fuck! How close does he come to selling it out?
I sold it out.
No, but I'm saying, what about Chris? Like, does he sell the whole boat?
He always sells it out. He always sells it out.
He has 6,000 people at these things?
Fuck yes, dude. It's no joke. It's no joke. It's no joke. And like the second show was 3,000 people, and they turned people away.
Wow.
They said they turned about 500 people away.
Wow.
And Gabriel was on the ship too. Gabriel Iglesias, he got turned away.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
he got turned away.
yeah. It was that crazy. Got a standing O, and imagine like you guys are. If your viewers don't know, I'm a huge wrestling fan too. So imagine you have Ric Flair, DDP, you have MVP, you have Jake the Snake Roberts, all sitting in the front row watching, and they bring out the standing ovation.
Wow, that's awesome. That's
you know what I mean. So that was cool experience. And to share the dressing room with Jake the Snake, that was fucking fun.
He's a character, man.
Brad, I see pictures of Brad Williams there. I don't know if he does it regularly. It seems like it.
Yeah, he's the chief of the comedians. He books the comedians down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's cool. And they've been and actually on the cruise I was on, I was voted the act they were so most happy to see, like by the entire ship. So it was good. Awesome.
It's a weird vote. But
you should.
Cool.
It's a weird vote. What the hell? It's a great day.
Who are you the most happy to see on this trip? Put a check by next to their name. And
Booker.
To the person to your left.
Yeah. It was the black guy with the beard. He was fucking hilarious. No, it was crazy. Like I think I added all 6,000 people from the ship on social media and everything, and they're telling their friends, and it's
sweet.
It's like, put it this way, it's like summer camp on the high seas.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. I mean, I remember doing. I don't know. I did band camp. Did I do summer camp? I don't know, but if I did, there
You
wasn't.
did band camp, Rob? You were in band camp?
You
Yeah,
went to a band camp?
yeah. This one time in band camp.
This one time at band camp?
I got so
Yeah,
fucked up.
I played the drums, and so like that was something I remember doing. I think a couple of years. Like it sucked because it was like really hot, humid, and we'd have to march, with the fucking equipment and shit.
Did you have the big drum, like the boom boom or the that one?
It was yeah, that's a snare. The big one's a bass. There's cymbals too in the marching.
Yeah.
And you switch the shit up, move it around. Didn't have a permanent station.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of shit that falls into percussion. The little triangle, ding, fucking xylophone, the bells,
I can see you.
the hi hat.
I want to be the tambourine man.
The drummer has a lot of fucking equipment, but in the marching band, only so much of that is practical.
Did you put it on the Jericho cruise? The first day I got so fucked up that I didn't get off the boat to go to the one because we weren't going to the Bahamas, and I was like, I ain't going on. I was like too fucked up to go get off the boat because I was like, I want to see homeless black people. I'll stay home. It's like that, shit. I don't need to go out visit some other black people I don't know. I got them in my family.
I could see that. I would think that'd be fairly common on any cruise that a lot of people don't want to get off.
Yeah. I think it's kind of rude. Like, hi, we're here. Let's fuck up your country. Bye. It's. I know
They like the dollars that everyone drops.
They dropped $2, man.
That's what I saw when I went into the Bahamas, or was it? Yeah, it was on a cruise several years ago. But it was so touristy, and I just knew like all those shops have to love all the big boats coming in, just dropping customers off for an hour or two, whatever the fuck it was, and then picking them back up, and like it's like a big rush every time a boat pulls up to the dock.
It's like when they turn on the red light at the strip joint. And it's the dollar dance. It's the dollar dance, bitches.
Something like that.
It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. Like I said, I'm really just concentrating on getting this special out there. And again, I want people to see the special just for the meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually that's the selling point of it. I believe is that it's a special that has a story to it, so you can understand the method to my madness, and it's my way of saying thanks to my mom.
Hell yeah! Well, be sure to give me all the information and stuff. Well, you can text it to me, and I'll be sure to include it in the description to the podcast and everything like that.
You got it, dude. I really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. So Bruce, did you grow up like a fan too, or did you just kind of adapt into being a fan later on?
I grew up a fan. My grandfather took me to the Olympic Auditorium when I was 5, and I saw Ric Flair versus Harley Race.
Oh wow, that's a hell of a starter.
Yes, and that's the first match I ever been to. So I went to WrestleMania 3 when it was in LA.
Yeah.
Was it 3?
No,
that's 5. I think that's
2. 2 was in LA when they were split, LA, Chicago, and
that's right. Okay.
New York, I think.
Yeah, that was all. Yeah, so it was probably 2 then you were at, right?
Yeah, because that was at the sports arena, at the then sports arena. They don't even have it. It's LA is weird now since you left, Rob. It's so crazy because I remember we would go on the tours, and LA is getting rid of all of its history. And
that's a shame.
And Hollywood is getting rid of all of its history, and it's really sad. I remember me and Rob and my man Ron Swallow, another comedian. We went to Michael Jackson's star the day he died.
Yeah, that's right.
The day he died, when we were there, we were hanging out, and I remember this one a Mexican guy who was dressed up as a luchador. He saw Rob. He's like, RBD, RBD. Hey, RBD. We had a lot of crazy adventures. Just doing championship comedy. That's which is where I met Rob. It's been a crazy ride. Like it's weird because if you know one wrestler, it seems like you start to know all of them. And it's been a crazy ride. It's been a crazy ride. And I'm just glad to be talking to Rob again. Getting back, because tomorrow's never promised. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Big hug.
Speaking of just something that was on my mind that Bruce touched upon, and I was just off of what he said, tomorrow's never promised. This is our ideology here, where people that are basic thinkers never think about themselves dying. They, the same people that would comment about me being a dad soon. There was a couple people that comment that said, he's going to be 70 when the kid is graduating high school, or something to that effect, right?
Yeah, something negative.
Which I get that's a thought, but what those people forget, it's the same kind of thinking as when they buy a dog and they think, well, dogs don't live as long, so I know I'm going to have to bury this dog someday. No, you don't. You don't know shit. Just like Bruce said, tomorrow is never promised. And when you got yourself tricked into thinking that for sure what you're going to do, that's not something that is consistent with an intelligent way to go about life, in my opinion. When you're a kid and you say, I'm going to wait till I'm 22, 23, then I'll get married. I'll start having kids, at 24. I'll retire at 55. Guess what? You might not even make it through your teens if you haven't done it. It's not that easy. And guess what? Not everybody does it.
No.
You look up the statistics. Nowhere does it say 100% of the people live to be the average age, ripe old age of 74 for men. And so anyway, we've talked about that before, because people also don't die of old age. That's not one of the top 10, 20 deaths. If you look it up, they have things that kill them. And the longer you're alive, guess what? The better chance you have that something's going to catch you, because you've been in the game a lot longer. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
So when you're young, and you're thinking that things are great because you got your whole life ahead of you, I don't see it that way from being on this end. Mm-hmm. I look at it like good luck.
Yeah, especially after everything I've been through the last 5 years. I know tomorrow's not, like I said, I know tomorrow's not promised. So stop. If you're going to do something, or you're planning to do something, do it today. Don't wait till the last minute. Because you're never going to get it done. You have this long-term goal. Do it. Because you're not. Chances are you might not make it, and that's the real. Stop waiting, stop procrastinating, and just do what it is you want to do, or and Just be yourself. And stop. Just stop waiting. If you have a beef with someone you think is close, squash that shit, because that's small shit compared. You don't want to go through life with guilt if you didn't take care of that, because your life is a long time to deal with guilt. And
if you owe RVD money, pay him back.
Pay him back. Just pay him back, everybody.
Do I owe you money? Do I owe you money? I owe you money? I probably do. Shit. Please buy.
I did see something I liked on Instagram yesterday that said, for everyone that thought I was a procrastinator, just you wait.
Yes. I like it.
Hey, by the way, I do watch the show. You did one of my jokes and fucked it up.
Yeah.
It was just like, what the hell?
What was it?
No, you gotta watch the special.
It was the one where you say, I'll smoke with anybody. I'll smoke with a racist.
Yeah, you could be racist. I'll smoke out with you. Like, grab the joint.
I know how I fucked it up too.
I don't like black people, and I take the joint. Yeah, they could be a problem sometimes. Here you go, and and I make sure the end of the joint is wet too. But okay, if you guys got that, you know what? That's a double punchline right there. And now I'm trying to write my next special, so that's the hard part. So yeah, especially dealing with all the health issues. I'm getting back out there, and because you're scared to do the new shit because you don't want. Because I'm done with that set. It's time. So once you have a special, you got to go automatically start anew, and that's the interesting part. Because you find out what works, what doesn't, right then and there.
For me, that's what I've done. Like the last 6, 7, 8 times I've been up on stage, is I've just gone with a whole new set every time, and sometimes it's been months in between. Mm-hmm. So
you forget the point.
After I do it, I usually feel like, man, I should do it again now. Now that I'm warm, I won't have to worry about remembering everything or. Whatever, but for me, I got sick of my own stuff, and then
the repetitiveness.
It's like, I don't know, wrestlers. Same thing with wrestling. A lot of times, if you wrestle the same guy several times in a row, a lot of times, depending on who it is, they'll want to do something completely different every time, mix it up, keep it interesting. Other people would rather have it just be easy, learn on.
That'd be cool if you guys could switch finishing moves, not always have not always do the same finishing move. It's like you never know what finishing move they're gonna do or each wrestler's gonna do. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the difference, and that's why we're disciplined at least. Because of the repetitiveness, you knew that was going to come into it. Because not every crowd has seen you, so you want to do your best up there, but not every time that particular set would work for different. Because every crowd's different.
Do you think you got the distribution part figured out now, or you're just gonna be working on that always to improve, probably, which is like what we're doing while you're still working on your next set?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of got it figured out now. I know with the help of the distribution company, I hopefully have it figured out. But you're always learning every day. I'm learning now that I'm not going to rely on my old fans to see my special. I want new eyes on it. You know what I mean? That's the idea. Of course, I want the old fans to see it, of course. But now it's time for new people to see it. And I don't think the other specials I appeared on were advertised properly enough. You know what I mean? So that's why I am going the extra mile and getting the PR firm, and getting them to market me out there. So to do the magazine articles and do magazine interviews, red carpets or whatever or what have you. It's out of sight, out of mind. So that the plan is to start being everywhere, to advertise it, not just their radio. I can do so much local radio in LA, because they know me. But now it's time to get on to the Today Show or get on some of these talk shows and talk about the special because again it has a story.
Right.
So there's a point behind it. It's not just
it's using us for a springboard then and hoping to
boing. But I mean,
what you don't want to do is like what we did with Headstrong. We went with this platform placing company called Distribber, and DDP had put it over because he had that's where he had Jake the Snake's movie Resurrected on there, and he had great things to say about it. And with very unfortunate timing, we put Headstrong on there. They stopped paying everybody, and we went 6-7 months probably without ever even being able to get any info, and then they went bankrupt. Wow. So they just screwed everybody. All kinds of many independent filmmakers got screwed by Distribber. But man, they talked a big game before we went with them, and they had it out there, so it was available, and it was. We'll never know how much money it was making because we promoted the fuck out of it, and see that it was everywhere when we first came out with it. But
so you never saw like the views, how many views it got?
No, eventually we saw some, but we didn't believe them.
Oh wow,
right. Man,
that's one of the major things why I was leery on a lot of stuff.
David Leary,
like Timothy Leary. Acid, man. But I was like leery on a lot of people because Rob, everybody talks a big game in LA. Everybody talks like, yeah, I can get that, I can do that,
Yeah, I don't miss it.
You don't. There's nothing you miss at all
about LA. No. The only thing,
no food place.
I did like riding my bike at the beach, even though I understand now that the beach is quite different than it was when I was there. That's what everybody says. But there's no beach here, and I did like that, but that's still a thing, really. Yeah.
You love it in Vegas?
Yeah, and I mostly stay home anyway, but I love the city. Everything's close, and there's everything here. Everything, repeatedly everything. A lot of, as far as all the franchise and everything, it's like every few blocks it seems to recycle a lot of stuff. But you go 6-7 miles, you've gone all the way across town. There's nowhere else to go.
I was gonna get a residency at the Lexi. It was supposedly the first pot friendly casino hotel in Vegas, which is bullshit because the casinos don't want weed. Because if you smoke weed, you think before you do some shit. They want booze so people will gamble. But I was supposed to get a residency there. That went to shit because the fucking GM left with fucking $350,000 of the place's money.
Jeez.
So imagine if I'd have got the residency there and he'd have left during my residency.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's
No, that happens with wrestlers all the time. Though they get a job and they move down to Orlando, and then they get let go. Like soon as they get all their stuff there and have a new place.
Hey.
Yeah,
and then like, oh, hey,
it's
sorry.
it happens a lot, often.
Yeah, and then I'm glad that didn't happen because the plan was to do 3 nights there in Vegas and come back. And and be here 4 days a week and then come back 3 and do that, which would have been cool because my goal was to, with the residency, I would have had a place I could have worked on a new set in no time.
Right.
And I was going to film my special, my second special here or there in Vegas. But this motherfucker absconds with fucking $350K of the hotel's money. Is like, there goes that plan. So now I'm trying to find another place in Vegas because I know there's so many different places to do stand up in Vegas to get my own residency. So we'll see. You never know.
I know. Keep plugging at it. I mean, that's how you get it.
Got no choice, man. Got no choice.
That's it. That's it.
And I know a lot of the comics in Vegas and everything. So I'll be coming back up pretty soon because I had to take some time off and get my health a lot better. But now I'm back. But now I have to have my feet broken and reset.
You literally do?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Fucked up.
Holy
That's Rob. He knows. Fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. Just jump off the top rope. That's how.
Yeah.
I broke mine.
Rob can give you pointers on how to do it. How to break the feet.
Yeah, they got to break them and put pins in my toes and fucking straighten them up.
Damn.
I can't wear sandals in certain neighborhoods in LA because of gang violence. Did you see it?
I wanted to give a shout out to Mike Riggs here. He says, Rob, I am almost entering my 30th season with the Lakewood Special Olympics program in Lakewood, California. So shout out.
Lakewood.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That's where I had my comic book store, by the way. It was at the Lakewood Square Mall back in the day.
Yeah, that's where I officially first met you.
Yeah, at the comic book store.
Yeah. And then we met again at the Ontario Improv, in the West is history. And
funny thing too, first time I interviewed Rob was in promotion for Headstrong.
See,
over the phone, yeah. I worked for WrestleZone.
And it all comes together. That's
all comes together.
It's so weird.
You helped draw numbers for a distributor that they fucked me on,
and they fucked you over.
Those motherfuckers. And they're not around. They're obviously not around anymore, right?
Right. They left with a lot of people's money.
That sucks.
There was like some kind of suit going on. I think it was a class action suit, or I can't remember for whatever reason, I didn't feel like we qualified. I can't remember what the deal was. Maybe it was because we couldn't prove some of the numbers, and we just knew theirs were bullshit. I really can't remember, but man, I was
pissed.
Well, I was pretty disappointed. Looking forward to business and then having it be the shits, which happens over and over with me. So that was one of the times.
Yeah, but when it happens good, it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're a Hall of Famer.
Keep going. Yeah.
You gotta, or as us blacks say, gotta keep on pushing. Like
no quitting.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just said ain't no quitting.
When life gives you lemons, chop that shit up and get some Coronas.
Get a couple Coronas cooking. Hey guys, whoa, change of scenery. Summertime's here, and it is a change of scenery. We got a lot going on, lots happening. The weather is finally nice. It's finally hit, and you're ready to hit the road. Maybe do something, take a little vacay. I've done a couple already, back to my hometown, and it's frustrating because you got to pack everything. You got to think you have this and you forget that and all that. And hey, Mando makes a lot of things easier and makes you a little bit more confident in what you're packing too, because you can smell good wherever you go. I went back to my Pennsylvania town of Ridgeway, Pennsylvania, and I had the Mando, the bourbon leather, and man, it's such a fresh, refreshing smell, and you just enjoy it. And you enjoy it. You feel confident being around my buddy. My brother had a high school reunion, and so I saw a lot of old friends and everything like that. And feeling good, feeling confident, and you knew that Mando was taking care of you. The stick is one of my favorite products. I like the bar of soap that they do, and also I appreciate the wipes too, if you're in a pinch or anything like that. But I also really like the deodorant spray that can hit you anywhere if you're in a pinch. And I did that a couple of times too while I was on the road and going and cooking and doing the vacation stuff. And Mando, you cannot beat it. And for the summertime, there's no better way to feel confident than go with Mando. I think it's created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. Mando and deodorant stick deodorant product options are the solid deodorant stick and the spray deodorant, like I mentioned. And so, man, you cannot get better than that. And Mando is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes. If you can, I recommend getting the bar of soap, like I said, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code RVD at Shop Mando for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Mando's got you covered. Perfect for your pits. Smell great doing it. Boom, Mando.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Rob,
Don't give up.
Jaden says you have lovely eyes, Rob.
Oh, thanks, Jaden.
And then Jaden also
Old red eyes.
Followed up by, he said, yes, I'm completely zoomed in on Rob's face right now.
Old red eyes.
Old red eyes.
You can sing swing ballads.
Dude, the air is so dry here in Las Vegas. I'm putting eye drops in my eyes all day, and I wear contacts, so that seems to aggravate them more because my contacts are stuck on dry ass eyes, and they're supposed to be floating on
dry ass eyes.
Comfortable. Yeah, I always have eye drops like within my fucking reach. You know what I mean? Like,
I have that. Those are the eye drops I have.
Yeah, I just got
my allergies don't go off in Vegas. It's weird because because it's so dry and everything. It's like now everywhere else my allergies are like ugh. It's fucking
hey
crazy.
Rob, how bad is your vision overall? Pretty good minus the glasses. Like, you're not Stan Hansen blind, right?
No, not that bad, but
Matt Murdock.
Dick Murdoch.
Dick Murdoch.
Murdoch.
Oh, that racist. Oh, anyway,
I don't even know how to compare it. You know what I mean? Because I've never looked through anyone else's eyes. But without my contacts or glasses, I'm not going to be able to read, but I can see fine. You can
see fine.
Yeah, like when I could be fine if I was just swimming or outside doing something where I didn't need to actually read or see detail and clear. You know what's funny though? I have 2 different strength contacts, and I always thought that was because my eyes were different. And I swear I thought that's what my fucking eye doctor told me like a few years ago. But last time I got my eyes checked and it changed a little bit, I found out, and for some reason I forget, and I just remembered again like the other day. This is ridiculous. It seems like it'd be something that'd be hard for you to forget. But the last time the guy told me that's because one of them is to see closer and one is to see further away. And I totally forgot that until like the other day. I was like, because I'm always like at nighttime, I'm always like testing who's next to me, usually Katie, saying like, can you can you read that street sign right there? Because there's no way. It's just like blurry to me. And then like she'll tell me like what it is real clear. And she told me that the other day, and I closed one eye. I guess it's my right eye. I can tell right now. If I close my right eye, everything's clear as fuck, like when it's really far away.
Uh-huh.
But with both of them, it's blurry. And like I never, like on the bionic man. And then up close.
But he's not Steve Austin.
Not Steve Austin.
And up close, it's the opposite. So my right eye, like shit looks clear up close, not so clear with the left eye. And I didn't even like, I've been wearing them for years and I never like utilized that.
I don't like contact lenses. That's why I wear these. I got the transitions. You know,
you got transition lenses.
I took up. That's how Rob used to walk. You know, he'd always have the the transitions. You know, and I had to get them. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to like put on glasses, then take the glasses off, put on your sunglasses and all that shit. That's how you lose the shit. So, you know.
Well, I used to have the transition lenses too, and I remember walking into class in college and like I'd walk into the auditorium and be so goddamn dark in there, I'd like be bumping into shit and like, I'm like I can't see shit. If you take off my glasses, I'm blind anyways.
Yeah, I got my glasses are transition. I'm straight. You got to just let people know. Yeah.
Right. Maddie gave some super chats early on. Rob, I had to screenshot him. He said, "This is for $5. Memories of the night Lawler and Jim Cornette showed up in ECW, busted open poor Tommy's jewels. Jerry and Jim being such good heels. A good bad guy equals a much watch." Do you remember that night when Lawler and Cornette showed up, Rob?
Yeah, I do, and I remember the word on the street was
Tanya Estrada.
that it was just business first, and that they legitimately hated each other. And that I think Lawler and Cornette hated Paul, and Paul, I think maybe had been talking shit about them, something like that. Maybe it was a three-way hate relationship, but it was a shoot from what everyone was saying, and it just made me realize, that we can all work together, whether we like each other or not. Fucking get out there and get the job done, and the more real it is, the better it is.
Yeah.
I remember it was like one of those lights out, lights on things where the fans, I was told, like never would have believed that either one of those guys would have stepped foot in the ECW arena, and so that really got over with the ECW crowd. And then again, like I said, it was just because it was good business, and it was fucking. I was always surprised at how Paul and the whole ECW show was always able to outdo itself, which it seemed to be the case. Like every 3 weeks or whatever when we were at the arena. I don't know why it seems like it was 3 weeks, but it was. Seems like it would be once a month, right? But
right.
Anybody? Anyone in the chat room know why?
I got a question for you, Rob. I got a question.
But what I wanted to say though, like it kept always progressing, and so like first time I was there in Philly in that arena, in that environment, I thought like, wow, like this is just the most amazing shit ever. And then we came back and I was like, man, how are they going to follow up? And they did it, no problem. And I was like, damn, I wouldn't have even thought like that, that is bigger. And then it came back, boom, and it was bigger. And so for me, that's always what ECW was about. That's what I was about when I was there, was always outdoing my own moves and progressing from, I don't know, from throwing a chair and kicking it someone's face to throwing
a chick,
or putting them on the rope and jumping off the top rope and kicking it, and then eventually doing the Van Terminator. Like it was always just like my dives over the top rope, over one chair, over two chairs. It was always about that, and I think one of the reasons I excelled so much there was because I felt that spirit the first night, and that was one of the ways that they were able to top anything before, was having Lawler and Cornette there wouldn't have been thought of as a possible thing that you could do before that.
Thank God they were there. You know what I mean? They figured it out how to excel.
You can't think with it. You can't. When you think within the box, like that there's nothing else you can do. You got to think outside
the box.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And by the way, Rob, I showed my nephew over here. I show him all your crazy shit from ECW and everything. And I tell him, "Oh, that's my friend." He's like, "Nah, you don't know him, you know." And then I go, "Yeah, I know him." And then see, I still do my impression of you.
Tell him you're on probationary period right now.
I'm back probationary. It's a special 2-part episode, like when Dudley went to the on different strokes. No, your older listeners or viewers are going to know what I'm talking about as far as different strokes and Dudley and the bicycle.
Who's Dudley?
Dudley was Arnold's friend on different strokes that got molested.
I thought it was that wasn't Sam. Sam was the other kid, the brother.
Yeah, Sam was the little redhead kid that they added to the family.
Okay.
Mr. D. Hated that kid.
Blue Maniac chimes in. He says Jim Cornette would only do the ECW show if Paul apologized to Dennis Coralluzzo for throwing down the NWA belt when Dennis was the NWA president. So how about that?
You know, I read something about that in it's Meanie telling us. Okay.
Yeah.
I read something about that. I missed that if you said that. In Todd Gordon's book, Todd is God.
Uh-huh.
It seems like Paul agreed to do it, but then I don't know if he actually really did apologize.
Meanie, did he apologize? Let us know in the chat, Meanie.
Yeah, because I remember something about Paul coming out and dude was in a car, maybe Dennis Carluso in the car, and didn't want to come in because he was pissed unless Paul was going to apologize, and then maybe Dennis said something rude, so he turned around and said, "Fuck it." That's the way I remember it from the book. So let me know if that's how it was or if I'm off.
I'm gonna get my nephew to give me a drink. Hold on a second, so I don't leave. Andrew,
go for it.
Can you grab me a drink?
Speaking of
an espresso martini.
Yes. No, it's a Jameson actually.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate it. Yeah,
No,
and I don't drink as much as I used to at RVD. Not drinking nearly as much as I used to, but I figured I have a couple just to celebrate the reunion, as it were, of Black and Tan.
Black and Tan. There we go. Right.
And I still say you should do the Jean-Claude Van Damme thing we talked about at the beach.
All right, I will.
You know what I'm talking about.
At the beach?
Yeah, the Breaking, the scene from Breaking. If Dominic can pull up that one scene where Jean-Claude Van Damme dancing in Breaking, it's on YouTube.
I think it's Break In, not
Break In. Yeah,
Break In. Oh my gosh. Well, we're gonna get a copyright flag if we do that, so I can't. But I'll put it in post. I'll make a social media clip and put it in post. Let me.
But there's
you can't show like so many seconds.
Probably I can show like 4 seconds.
If we're commenting on it, then it changes the original content to.
Let's see.
To what should be covered as fair use.
Breaking In, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
John.
Break In.
Break In. There it is. I see. Let's see. So it's a dance part.
Yeah,
it was before he was a star, so he's just like an extra, like dancing on the Venice.
Oh shit! Okay, I think I see something here.
He's wearing a singlet, just like Rob.
Okay, let's see if I can get.
He's wearing a singlet.
Yes, he is.
He's wearing a wife beater at least. Let's see here. I'll get the sound 1 sec. Let me screen share. I got to
What would the flag be anyway? We don't make money off the live shows.
I guess that's a good point. We don't. Okay, let's see. Screen share. Share screen. Here we go.
That's my producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Here it is.
Here it is. And
Van Dam chilling out back there. Jean
yeah.
Look at him go.
there he is, wearing a singlet.
Oh, look at him go.
Like he's black.
Yeah, baby.
He's wearing his Lionheart outfit.
Yeah. There it is, right there.
Tag the dude behind you. Hey, you're.
Oh. Is he just a background guy in this?
No,
Yeah.
but what's with the little window?
Hold
Is
on.
he doing it on
I
his
was
own?
I was trying to skim through it. Hold on. Let's see if I can pull it up a little bit bigger.
Oh,
There he is.
he
There he is.
tags
dancing through.
in.
Oh yeah.
There
Look
he
at
is.
him go.
There he is.
Oh, the chick's getting down.
but put back on the way he danced in that, dude.
He's just staring too.
Yeah, it was probably before this when you probably just skipped past it, but whatever.
Oh, okay. I had it.
When he does that dance.
There it is. Was that it?
Maybe he didn't even tag in the minute. I don't remember.
Did you tag in at the end?
There.
No.
Does he, Bruce? I don't even remember if he gets.
dang
He
it.
didn't get tagged in.
He just watches.
Yeah, he just watches, but but I think RBD should do like a parody of that. Like just going back to that.
Yeah, you should. Just like a social media clip at the very least or something.
Y'all should quit telling people what they should do. That's how I read theology also.
It'd be great if he did that.
If I have kids, I'm going to have to learn how to actually tell someone they should or shouldn't do something, because that's not something I do unless I'm joking,
Yeah.
like, dude, you should go up and, but if I'm not joking, I never feel comfortable saying, like, you should tell her to fuck off or even directives. I'm not comfortable saying, stop fucking doing that or get out of here, go over there. Usually
you better get used to it because you're gonna be doing that.
Well, but I mean also the our kids will be used to very passive and peaceful ways of dealing with people, which should be a good thing. Because I mean, I know when they're real little, you gotta kind of take control because they're too young to think for themselves and shit. I mean, I got to tell my dog, sometimes stop barking, but I can't imagine telling anyone. But I don't know. If you have a kid and it's part you, I don't even imagine what that's like anyway. I got, hopefully, God willing, everything. And because, like we talked about, tomorrow's not even promised. But anyway, yeah, I can only imagine being like,
you're gonna be great.
Honey, would you mind handing me that? Instead of saying, give me that.
You're right. Yeah.
You're gonna be great parents. And, And I can't wait. And and especially twins. It's gonna be interesting. And are they gonna be wonder twins? Like form of.
The Wonder Twins.
That's so.
Not in a big hurry though. It's a little scary, so I'll take time as it comes.
Right, one step at a time.
FF.
That's all you can do.
Afford any of this. So, yeah.
That's all you can do.
Rob, you should take it one step at a time.
One moment at a time.
Amen.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
But you can be great.
Dude,
Meanie follows up.
Oh, go ahead.
Meanie follows up. He says, Cornette agreed to do the shot for free and wanted a limo and dinner for him and Dennis. Jim was leaving Paul, shoved a payday in Jim's hand as an FU.
Wait, he's Jim?
Jim Cornette.
Oh, duh. You always erase it too quick. Like when
Oh.
you put shit up there.
It's Jim from the from
Wait
Tom
till you
Sawyer.
read my Yelp review.
I know.
You're
That's
gonna
what
do
he
stuff
said.
for free. And wanted a little dinner for him and Dennis Caruso. Jim was leaving. Paul shoved the payday in Jim's hand as a fuck you. So, but he did not apologize though to Dennis. I guess there was. I knew there was something with the car, but that's Todd's book. But I learned a lot from that book, Todd is God. That and you know everything is his perspective, but I wouldn't know so much of that. I had no idea, and so much of it makes sense that would have been going on while my life was going on while I was there. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
especially like when I first got there, like I had, you know, I knew what I saw and what Sabu told me, and not much more than that. But you know, after getting Todd's stories of what was going on with him and Paul, and Paul working him and milking him and ripping him off the whole time, and
by the way, Rob,
big plan at the end. Like, yeah, that's sure. That's Paul. Of course, I didn't know, but of course, that's what happened.
and by the way, Rob, I'm so sorry about Sabu. He was an awesome dude. I'm lucky enough to have met him a few times, and I'm so sorry for
I appreciate it.
And the loss to the world. He was always cool to me. He was a great guy, and I just wanted to express my condolences. So sorry. Like again,
sorry for your mama, Bruce.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Condolences.
She loved you. She loved you, and you know, like I said, tomorrow's never promised. So, you know, just hold on to the people you love, and you know, let the small shit go.
Absolutely. It's too short. Life is too short because you just don't know.
You know, and Rob likes his old school hip hop, so he knows about the Too Short.
You know what? On one thing that so I'm looking forward to a change up in the monotony of just, you know, like there's no structure, and there's not in my life, and there's not going to be structure unless there's a reason to have it, you know. And I work under pressure only, otherwise not. And when I allow time to do something, I have to allow time to equally balance it doing nothing. And that's because my main priority is my spirit, and that probably won't change. I don't know, but
it grows.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't know. You don't have kids,
and then nor do I want them. Now that your ass is having twins, I'm like, shit. Now I got to compete with somebody my age having this.
Shut up. What I'm trying to say is, after I became an adult in my mid to late 40s, and I feel like I rebuilt myself and set my really got in touch with my priorities and reached a place in life where I feel like I understand everything as an adult. Ever since all of that, my number one rule has been, if it's going to cause stress and I can avoid it, boom, I avoid it. Now that makes certain things hard, you know, like when it comes to work, you know, when you got to do certain stuff, taxes and paperwork and shit, you know, because if it's stressful, I'll put it off till I have to do it. And then hopefully, you know, the pressure eventually will get me to do it.
Yeah.
But also
taxes.
Yeah. But for me, it also, like, if I can throw money at it and it's not going to stress me, it's going to cause me to be spiritually healthy and happy and not stressed out, then of course I take a lot of L's, in that way, and Katie sees it. A lot of times I'll fuck up and I'll rent like 2 different cars at the same time, and I can't use I do shit like that all the time. Because I don't want to wait. Like one car will say they're at the airport, but they're not. You got to take a shuttle, and they fucking lied to you. And so I'll just say, fuck it. I can see the Nationals right here, and I'll redo it. And then in my mind, I think I'll get it later. But if I use a third party, they're not going to refund it, And before it gets stressful, I just say, fuck it, I'll eat it. And there's like I could almost write a book.
And it's done. And it's done. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about it. It's like, fuck here, bro, bye.
Yeah. I'm thinking if I have like 2 little girls, they're going to be probably more important than me, or at least everything about their wellness will be necessary for me to feel my wellness.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So in other words, you're going to spoil them.
Oh, I spoil them with love and positive energy for sure. But they're gonna stress me out. How can they not?
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Being worried of the pregnancy. Holy crap, that's stressful as hell. But there's
you haven't reached childbirth.
Out of
and then childbirth. You got 2.
Yeah.
Ruining your favorite place for a minute.
Yeah, but if I tell Katie, go take care of it, I'll be down at the bar getting my Zen on and keeping my spiritual frequency high, because that's going to stress me out being in there.
That's not going to. No, your ass is going to be.
I'll probably have to change a few times.
Your ass is going to be in there,
dude. Yeah,
man. Yeah, it'll certainly be an adjustment.
See, I couldn't be in there, dude. Simply, for one thing, it's gonna, like I said before, it's gonna ruin your favorite place. You know what I mean? Like a kid ruined, and you just like, you ever gone to Disneyland and there's yellow tape all over like your favorite ride? You're pissed off, right? That's what's gonna happen with you and Katie. Your favorite ride's gonna be shut down for a minute. So you know what I mean? And then you got to deal with something that's coming out of like doing this.
I hope not.
It's crazy.
I hope they don't look like that.
I hope not either. but I think it's awesome. First of all, that you guys are having twins, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy for you guys. And it's a new chapter in RVD, in the book of RVD.
Super duper cool.
Yep. Looking forward to the
RV Wee.
Yeah, that's right.
RV Dad, some people are saying.
Yeah, RV Dad.
RV Dad.
Yep.
RV Dad.
Whole van dad.
Dude, that's the sitcom.
That's it.
That's the sitcom. RVD and Family.
That's it. Frankie Chorizo, how do I identify people who are being fake?
I don't know if there's an answer to that. You know what I mean? There's a gut feeling, an instinct. I tend to be skeptical with everybody first, unless they give me a reason not to be.
Yeah.
So like if somebody tells me something, I never take it as fact. You know what I mean? Like if Bruce told me that that Ron Swallow is coming over at 7:00, and then Dom says, "Hey, what'd you find out?" I'd start by saying Bruce says, because that takes the accountability off me,
Yeah.
Bruce says that he's coming over, Ron's coming over. That's how I try to do everything, because I don't know that anything's true. I'm gonna go around and say, "Oh my God, guess what I just found out?" Because I don't know that it's a fact, unless I got several sources and did research and I believe it. But if I put me on it, then I gotta really believe in it. And because I care about my credibility, I'm accountable, not like everyone else on online and on social media that doesn't give a fuck because they can put whatever they want on there and no one knows who they are and no one's ever going to, so they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you have to think. You have to think before you put something up. You know what I mean?
I do. They don't.
They don't. They can just say whatever, and it's
Well, it's obvious they don't think before they.
yeah.
But as far as identifying fake people, if you, man, there's, I don't think there's a magic to it. I think if you really have a feeling, that this person is lying to you, then go with that gut instinct and either way, just take everybody at face value. When they tell you something, just
prepare yourself.
Just because they say, hey, so and so is not a good person to be around, he's an asshole, doesn't mean it's true. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Now, if 7 people say it.
no, that's true. If you have some facts behind it, like I had facts. Somebody that was just told me a bunch of stuff the other day, and I don't want to. And then this person, I know that they're lying to me because there's no way, because I just talked to this person, and they're so much drama. I don't even think I can get into it without the details, but
yeah.
Anyway, she's claiming she didn't know that her roommate tried to sexually assault her, and she didn't know that her roommate, she thought he was gay because he's never tried anything before, but now he's like, chasing her around the place with his pants down. And I already know that they used to see each other. So I know that she's just lying. And it's like, I got no time for that. I want to hang up. Luckily, Katie was with me and could handle this person's bullshit enough to talk through it, to get the information that we did need out of her, because I wouldn't have survived. I would have hung up on it. But we did.
Hung up.
Yeah, like that's bullshit. And if anyone ever thinks that anything that I say is bullshit, then throw everything that I say out the window then, because I care about my credibility. And if I got none with you, I don't want to waste my time talking to you.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna what I say, yeah.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Bruce, you got any clues for Frank on how he can tell when someone's being fake talking to him? Because that's a hard one.
You learn that somebody's fake.
Mm-hmm.
If they're fake, you can't tell automatically because they're fake. You know what I mean? So you're just assuming that they're the real deal. You know what I mean? You find out that they're fake, and as soon as you find out they're fake, that's up to you if you want to continue to deal with them, or drop them, either physically or metaphorically. You find out that people are fake by their actions,
and and I'll add to that too. I've always felt like when people want to talk about how tough they are, I usually find that usually comes across being really fake. Like I've always thought, if someone's really tough, they don't have to tell everyone how tough they are. But if they're braggadocious about anything, I think they're full of shit and they're too materialistic, and I don't care. I don't want to hear from them. If I'm chilling, talking to my friends in public, and someone comes up to me and they saying, fuck yeah, man. And dude, you see that I got this fucking payment on my car. You see what I drove up here? And fucking, hey, man, we got my MMA training later on today. It's like,
no,
go away.
Get out of here.
None of that felt real.
It's just like in comedy. Rob, there are these comics that brag about shit that is not going to happen. you know for a fact it's not gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they man, Comedy Central called me, man, and all that. No. Comedy Central is not calling you. I know for a fact Comedy Central is calling you. If Comedy Central is gonna call you, I quit comedy. Then like, you know what I mean?
When fans talk about wrestlers in their first name, they're being fake, pretending that they have a relationship with them. The
Yeah.
wrestlers don't go by their first names, Some do. It's pretty rare though. But like Sabu, I know that he doesn't. So if anybody would be like, "Hey, Terry calls me every time he's in town," you're full of shit if you're talking about Sabu.
Yeah, dude. No, first off, why are you calling him Terry? Exactly,
But there's a lot of people like that. And
look how long it took me for me to call you Rob.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was RVD like for a minute, and then like the fact that I know last name,
once you really got to know me. My name is Bethany, but
what?
I go by Rob.
Bethany
Your
Van
name
Dam?
Daphne?
Oh man, that's the name of the episode is Bethany
What
Van
Ross sent me. They sent me another box of fucking goodies, and it's like a cone. Fucking look at that!
Look
at that.
Yeah, let's pop that up.
Cone.
Whoa,
that's the fill.
As long as that's not burning.
Bill. Oh, and happy birthday, fucking birthday cards, and it's back in the plastic, but Katie had one open. It says something about hope we have a raw one or something inside. I don't know what it says, but
I hope
anyway,
that frosting ain't burning.
raw. They give me all these best papers, RVD papers or raw papers. Once you've had them, you can't smoke the old fucking nasty white thick paper doobies, or else all you taste is the paper. Which is the worst part of the joint.
Dang.
Raws were the first ones, the original ones that made non-bleached, and so basically my RVD papers are the same exact fucking thing. They just
look at that.
Couple and shit.
Hell yeah!
RVD is muy bueno.
Yeah. Always big raw tray, smoking tray, and what's this? A poster. Says whatever it says on there.
Elements, pink paper. Pink papers.
Anyway, what do you got?
How about that?
What do I have? I'll show you what I got.
I got Icy Light, Pittsburgh beer, Icy Light.
My dog
Sponsored by the Pirates.
On the table.
You guys are both drinking. I should have done a shot before the show.
And then I'm not drinking too well. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm gonna have another. I got what do I got? I got dog tags. Thank you. I got dog tags.
Whoa! I got a dog.
Bruce Jingles dog.
Barbie.
Nice.
Oh, look at that. Nice.
Nice.
Hell yeah, Bruce. That's
Are
sweet.
those,
Oh yeah.
where are those available?
Yeah, are those available, Bruce?
These are the testers. They're gonna be coming out pretty soon.
Okay.
You guys follow me on Instagram at Bruce Jingles, BruceJingles, and then I'll be sending out the blast about when they're coming out. So
Okay.
That's gonna be my merch. I'm gonna be getting rid of, since I can't sell any CDs or DVDs or anything like that, and T-shirts are too fucking heavy to carry.
That's right, inventory.
Yeah, I figured, like dog tags, part of the Jingles army.
That's it. That's it.
Why
Join the
can't you
Jingles.
sell CDs or DVDs or whatever you just said?
Or BVDs?
RVD. You said you can't sell them.
I get it. Everything because it's the special streaming now. You know what I mean? I could, but that's a lot of work too, and that's a lot to carry around on like when you're on the road too.
Yeah, 8x10s take up no room.
Yeah, it's and dog tags take up really no room. The shot glasses I had and are also coming back out with. They don't take up too much room. So it's not deciding on what merch you want to take and how effective it's going to be.
Right. Yeah. What will sell and what is easy enough to take
because
around.
you don't want to fuck up your back.
That's it.
You know what I mean? T-shirts are heavy as a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And so you got to make sure that it's attractive enough that people will buy it, and it's small enough so you can carry it.
That's it, right? Make it easy.
That's Jingles logic. You got RVDology, Jingles logic. That's Jinglish.
Let's hammer through these super chats. We got a good amount of them here. So, Alex Constantino, thank you for the $5. Rob, what was it like being in the ring and hearing that gong and watching Taker make his entrance? Was it pretty a cool spectacle from being in the ring, Rob?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, but you know, you got to keep in mind, I wasn't a fan, I was a wrestler, and so I had that competitive state of mind, you know what I mean? So my ego partially is like, you know, judging the pop, comparing it to mine, you know, thinking like, how come they don't pop like that for me? You know, like what, you know, how come he's so over, man? These fans are stupid.
but there's a shitload of that in your profession, just like
you have to. Yeah, I'm always saying you have to have the biggest ego to be in it, and then to do a promo. Every promo is about I'm the best. This is why, and you know, I was in that state of mind when I would wrestle Undertaker. I liked working with him. And respected the matches with him were, from what I remember, you know, I worked with him on the road a lot. We had cage matches and stuff, and they were like pretty fucking easy, which is what I liked at the time. Mm-hmm. You know, meaning we didn't have to fucking have a meeting before the match. I liked how over he was because you want the crowd to be very vocal during your match. Yeah. So it's pretty cool with that, you know, lights go out and they go on, but it wasn't the same as enjoying it as a fan.
Right. Yeah. It's completely different.
Your heel run in the WWE was for 3 weeks? Like
I came in as a heel
during the invasion.
Yeah, I came in during that as a heel, and then in 2006 when we brought ECW back, then I started, you know, they made all of us heels on the WWE show, especially when the next year when they brought ECW back as a third brand, then we were all heels because they didn't want ECW to survive.
but it was still short. It's like you had that fan support that says, no, we're not going to have you a heel. Yeah, you're going to be the whole effing show, and we're all about the whole effing show.
And look at my heels now.
Look at your heels now. Look at them now. Alex asked the second question, Rob. When did Harlem Heat first get on your radar?
Trying to think of which happened first between these two occasions. So what happened was I was here in Las Vegas, and WCW was here at the Thomas and Mack Center. Mm-hmm. And I went to the show. I'm not sure what year this would have been. Sometime, I don't even, what year? I don't know. This would have been, let's say, sometime between 95 and 2000. I don't know. Must have been when I was with ECW. And, but I was here, not living here. I don't know what the fuck I was doing here, but I was here. And WCW's here. And anyway, I went and figured I would see if I could get backstage and say hi to some of the boys or whatever, and they let me back there. And I went back there, and I met Booker T and his brother, and they were both really cool to me. Like they acknowledged they knew who I was, which at that point in my career was something you couldn't just assume.
Right.
Like I was a big star for being in ECW, but at the same time, it was nothing at all like once WWE puts you on their television and shows you down everybody's throats. That's like a whole different level. So I was like, oh, cool. These guys watch ECW. They know who I am, and met some other people too, but it stuck out in my mind that they were really cool. So I lived in LA, and the David Arquette movie was being filmed.
Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble.
Yeah. And
He's a nice dude.
David Arquette, yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice dude.
Yeah, I like him. But I went to the movie set, and I had my manager with me then, I remember, and went to Booker. Someone told me where Booker T's trailer was. I guess I must have asked because I wanted to just say hi to him or whatever, because I met him at the Thomas and Mack Center, and he was really cool to me. So I wanted to stop by and say hi to him. And when I went up to his trailer, you could smell the weed. Like it was a real strong odor of weed coming out. I knocked on his door, and he's like, "Just a second," and he's and he opened up his door, and he's, "What's up?" And I was like, "Hey, dude, I was just stopping by to say hi. I live here." And he was like, "Oh, come on in." And I told my manager, "Fuck off," for a while, and hung out with Booker. And that was the first time that I remember bonding with him.
How about that, man? And then you guys became road buddies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I met Booker because of RVD.
Yeah.
No shit. How about that?
And Booker just it's weird. After SummerSlam, I went to RVD's house, and as soon as I walked in, he had 3 wrestlers from the pay-per-view there, and it's like, what the fuck, it's crazy. And Booker's a big motherfucker. Okay,
He's a big dude.
He's like I'm 6'5". He's big. He's a big brother.
Jacked. He always looks jacked too. Like
dude.
Like I can't imagine him not being jacked. Like if he didn't work out, I feel like he would still, have a lot of natural muscle. But
I see him playing Shonuff in the Last Dragon remake.
He did?
No, he should play Shonuff.
Oh,
imagine that.
What he should do.
Imagine that, dude. But dude, he'd be perfect as Shonuff.
Yeah. You should quit telling people what they should do.
Do you see all the WWE guys got cast in that Street Fighter movie, by the way?
Yeah.
I saw a couple of them.
Yeah. Roman Reigns casted as one character, and then Cody Rhodes is like Guile with the hair.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You know what? I also got it mixed up with the American Gladiators because they're casting that too.
They casted that, and then several wrestlers are in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wardlow. I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Rick Booge. He's one of the guys. Camille. I think those are the main 3.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Camille, Clamazel, Shots and Vev Incorporated.
Okay, we got some more super chats here. Want to make sure we get them all. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one, Rob. Ask a bum. Thanks for the $2. Who would win in a fight between Rob and Ernest the Cat Miller?
Ernest, I put him over.
No, there you go. There we go.
If it was a plate of soul food, I'd say Ernest too.
All right. A long story short, thanks for the $2. Any stories of Queens Boulevard and the Elks Lodge in ECW, Rob?
Well, that's the first place that I think of when I was really being becoming more open as an advocate for cannabis. We would smoke out in the parking lot there, whereas at other places that we were still kind of like hiding and, you know, hiding underneath the truck, the big semi truck, or you know, in the shadows, and then in the parking lot in Queens, fans would just like started like just walking over and like handing me doobies, you know, and saying, "Hey, let's smoke." And that's the first place I remember seeing a sign that said RVD 420, and I fell in love with it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was just like, boom. I fucking love that. I'm going to use that because I hadn't been in ECW that long, and I was trying to still to use the overused LFG term. I was trying to find out who I was. I didn't know who I was.
I hate that term.
Yeah, but at this point, it was like, you know, Sandman was super over, associated with the beer and cigarettes, and I was against beer and cigarettes at the time, really, and just into marijuana. And I thought, like, dude, that's perfect. Like, that's you know, I should really go with that. The fans are obviously associating me with it if they're bringing signs like that, and so they helped make that my character.
Yeah, you were the first marijuana wrestler, and that went over.
Yeah, that I know of. And then a while later, then Godfather, X-Pac, Road Dogg, like they were doing that shit on WWE. But
because you brought everybody out of the closet as far as that, you know what I mean.
I mean, obviously, the RVD 420 was a play on the Stone Cold 316. So if you look back and see what time range that was when everyone had the 316 shit, that's when we started with the 420, you know, parody, which so that far back before everybody else was doing it.
Which sold like hotcakes. I know. It had to, you know. It just made sense.
Yeah. So I think of that when I think of Queens. Also, we did the music video for Walk with Kilgore doing the cover in Queens. So, you know, it shows that black and white checkered floor that was downstairs. And I think of that when I think of the video, and also when I think of the Elks Lodge. And there was a strip club.
I think of Joe Jackson.
I'm thinking Butterfingers. That's not right, though. I don't think. Maybe it was. That was like down the street from there that we would go to. That now I know was run by the mafia, but back then that was the furthest thing from my mind.
Yeah, right.
Are you still as into mafia folklore?
Yes.
Have you learned some new stuff living in Vegas?
I'm always learning new stuff.
Yeah, because he's an authority on everything.
Yeah, Dom knows.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Rob's rattling off names left and right, and like I'm googling them.
He even knows your Uncle Dominic. The one you named after, you know who I'm talking.
It's this. I know all the mob ties I'm with. Right. Hey Rob, I bet you've never been asked this question, but thank you, Robert, here for the question. Here's one. What's your favorite match in ECW?
Well, I'm gonna have to say Jerry Lynn. But it's not easy because I liked a lot of my matches, and a lot of my matches with Sabu I would put up there with it. But the matches with Jerry Lynn pushed both of us, made us better ourselves in a different way than my matches with Sabu. Like I remember the first time I wrestled Sabu at the Philly Arena, afterwards, when I asked him why the wrestlers were standing up clapping, he said, "Oh, that match was nothing for you and me, but they never say anything like it, because we're on a different level, so they were clapping for us." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, they, we work each other all the time, but they never say anything." And I was like, "Okay." And with Jerry, I felt like we were both getting better each time we'd wrestle each other, just because like we would remember what the other person was gonna do. Like last time I tried this leg sweep, I know he jumped over it. So this time I'm gonna go to throw that leg sweep, and when he jumps, I'm gonna throw a fucking high kick instead, And it was just like the whole time it just felt like we both were
Old friends reuniting.
bettering ourselves to meet the level of the rising fucking competition.
Yeah. No, you and Jerry had some awesome matches. We talked about that a couple of times too. How great that series matches you always had with.
It was like the Hulk versus the Thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You like who I really root for on this one.
Who do you go up with on that one? Who do you go?
Are you excited about Superman and the Fantastic Four coming out?
No, I really didn't even know anything about it, and I have the comic world, the whole comic book world has fallen outside of my bubble after I moved out of LA. So
so you're like over it.
Yeah, I mean it's still cool, but I don't geek out in it. I don't know how many series they've done of Ghost Rider since I stopped. They probably brought it back. I think they said a girl one time or something. It's like it's not part of my interest anymore. So, but I mean, if maybe I'd watch it on an airplane or something. It's Fantastic Four. I don't know about maybe Superman. I don't know, but probably not. I'm sure there's a lot of them that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I'm pumped for Superman. See, I got the hat.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm kind of over it myself, but
are you? The superhero movies are overdone. There's so many of them. It's just crazy.
But usually, when it's like a Marvel movie, I know if I'm watching it, I can count on it being a fucking killer movie. Like I remember the Avengers. I think it was the first Avengers movie. I went to it by myself in a movie theater, and I remember leaving like, dude, what more could you possibly want from a movie? Like it was funny, it was fucking exciting, it was emotional, it was a great story, great acting, like the special effects were awesome. I was just blown away by it, and I kind of have that standard, not for all Marvel movies across the board, but I imagine them all to at least, be decent because of that.
What about the Dark? Didn't I see the Dark Knight with you?
Maybe.
You and Shelley?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't grow up on DC, so I don't know that universe. And so I don't remember like really what I've seen and not, because it's not as trivial to me as the Marvel universe that I grew up in,
Yeah. Because
people are excited about Joker, and I'm like, I don't know if I've seen it or not. I don't know.
It's horrible. It's horrible. But the Jim Shooter, the writer of Contest of Champions, passed away.
He just passed away. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
That sucks. Wow, that's cool.
I know that's one of your favorite miniseries back in the day.
Way back. Yeah.
Nene says the strip club in Queens was Goldfingers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What did I call it? Butterfingers. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, I think the New Jersey mob might have run that one in what's his name? Not Mike Palermo. Fucking well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, the guy. It matters to me. Anyway, man, that seems like so long ago. Like I couldn't even remember like what it looked like inside at all, damn, it was fucking 30 years ago, but it seems like it. And I was just so young and overwhelmed and everything, that it's hard hard to think of details about it. Although, now that I think about it, there was another club downstairs. What was that? Because there was a club upstairs, which would have been Goldfingers, and then underneath there was something, maybe Lady Fingers.
It was called a laboratory because
when I was there, I remember thinking that the bottom one was for just for ladies. Like, I don't know if it was a lesbian club or what, but I think it was like ladies fingers and Goldfinger up above. I don't know. I don't know if you remember that or not. Maybe I don't know. Maybe remembers that, but that's yeah. Now that I think about it, I remember the exterior kind of like that, and being curious about underneath. You know, because
so the lesbian club was downstairs.
Oh,
I don't know if it was a lesbian. I think it was, or I thought it was. You know, which I've always been a big fan of. Ladies loving ladies.
As I.
Rob, JCS Rub says RVD is like Spider-Man in the ring, though.
Well, I did have that one move that came called the Spider-Man spot in the what's that called, man? The cage of elimination chamber match.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Spider-Man spot when I did a crossbody off the top rope, and I think it was Chris Jericho. He ducked and then I caught onto the cage, you know. And
yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
That was my Spider-Man spot. That was the most Spider-Man-ish I've ever been.
That's awesome. Well, your neighborhood friendly RVD.
Yeah.
Favorite Spider-Man?
Favorite Spider-Man? Oh, you mean
the movie?
Yeah.
I don't know them apart, really.
Which actor? You more told
I like the new guy, Tom Holland. I like the new guy.
Love the new guy.
I like the new guy. I think he's my favorite.
Which heels? I can remember what heels he fought, like by more
he
than
fought the Vulture, which was Michael Keaton.
Okay.
He fought
Sandman.
Mysterio.
Tobey Maguire. He fought the Sandman. That was Thomas Hayden Church.
Oh.
And then who else did he fight? I can't even remember.
He fought the Green Goblin, which was
he fought William Dafoe.
The original. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you had the Andrew Garfield, and that was Electro Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx, right? And then Rhino, wasn't Paul Giamatti Rhino or something like that?
Yeah, which was horrible.
I remember Rhino.
Yeah, it was horrible.
You wrestled with him, Rob, right?
Yeah. That'd be cool if Bullseye fought Spider-Man.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Movies.
They're crossing over Spider-Man into the Daredevil.
I'm all for
That'd
that.
be cool. Yeah.
Or the street level stuff.
It's cool seeing that shit, seeing the stories come to life. But yeah, I don't remember the actual storylines probably as much as I used to. But had to make room for other shit.
Meanie follows up. He says, I remember the DJ encouraging the boys to tip one of the dancers, and the boys powdered.
That sounds right.
All right, a couple more super chats, and then we should be all finished up. Here's one, Rob. They want you to peel back the curtain on this one.
Okay.
Ricky Jordan asks, was the episode in joint with Maven scripted?
If scripted means that it had an actual script, then no. Of course, I don't work on scripts.
That's right.
You don't need no stinking script.
Don't need no scripts, everybody.
I'm not good with scripts. When I get scripts for movies and shit, I usually forget them anyway. So.
Bullet points. That's all you need.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Mackenzie L. Thanks for the $5. Another Undertaker question. How do you feel Undertaker's Deadman character would fare if he debuted in 2025? Same for when he turned into the biker. Deadman's more unique. American Badass is more modern. Do you think the Deadman gimmick would work in today's world? You guys, this would be interesting to hear from both of you guys on this. Rob, what do you think?
I don't really know what variables to even consider. Like if it worked back then, I I guess just looking at where wrestling is right now and the characters. Yeah, I don't know. I think isn't that just something that's kind of timeless, like with wrestling, as far as like a character like
So I
that.
think he kind of, I mean, if you kind of not consider Kevin Sullivan, I guess he was the most supernatural, like when it came to like, oh, he's rising up, he's getting up, and he's, how can you beat the Undertaker? He's the dead man, and that all that the mysticism of him like disappearing and stuff like that. So I don't know. It would be interesting to think, would modern fans buy into that? Or would the modern wrestling accept something like that? Because Undertaker set a precedent, so there's a little bit of that going on with like the
Well, he
Wyatts.
did, but wasn't there already like the voodoo guys?
Oh, true, Papa Shango and stuff like that.
And then in Global, they had a guy. I don't know if that was before him or not.
I think it's.
What's that?
I think it's gonna. There always has to be a supernatural guy in each generation. I think. You know what I mean? To keep that feel of wrestling. Because now,
maybe
without it, wrestling becomes like UFC.
But say if Undertaker never existed, and so there was no supernatural coming in, and he's the first one to do it in today's world, would it work?
Well, how long ago was the Wyatt family? Was that not today's world? I mean, would you consider?
Yeah, that was like a year ago they debuted, I think.
They're supernatural, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying if no supernatural happened until Undertaker 2025 Undertaker shows up, would people buy into it? Because Undertaker kind of set the tone. Oh, we do accept supernatural in pro wrestling, in the mainstream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I think that with the special effects, advanced technology, the things they could do, they could probably make anything they want get over.
I think it's a good point. Yeah, definitely. Because presentation. It's all about presentation.
Yeah.
Produced properly.
I think so.
Absolutely. Frankie asks another question, Rob. Will you put the girls in martial arts? If so, what? Which one? Which genre of martial arts?
That is a good question.
So you are having girls.
Yeah. Well, God willing.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. The Van Damme girls. Oh my God.
Yeah. I've had a rule for a long time. I'm the only one in the house with a penis. So.
That's a good rule.
Standing rule.
I don't want any competition.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
It would be cool. I think that would go with whatever is available at whatever community thing we're doing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know anything about the schools, and I mean I know some of what we're planning on doing, but I mean that's not. I don't know like what they have to offer or associated with when it comes to certain things like that, which is likely to be a factor, as well as, say maybe Katie is friends with another kid's mom and they go to a certain place, maybe something like that along those lines is always possible. Otherwise, if it was just straight up, like I'm gonna get my girls in like right now to what I think is going to be the most useful for their life. If it's priority like that, which it could be, then I would look for a Krav Maga place that would teach the kids, and I would start them out there. But of course, I don't plan on pushing them in any direction. I plan on seeing which way they want to go.
I'm telling you, that's a TV show, man. I'm telling you, dude.
Always has been. My life has always been a reality show waiting to happen.
The Van Dams.
Call it the Van Dam fam. Van Dam fam.
Van Dam fam.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I think that was it for the super chats. I want to make sure I got them all. I'll take one quick look around here. Make sure I got everybody.
I could be Reggie, the wisecracking neighbor.
I just want to.
You could be the one that molested that little kid.
Dude, I'm not fucking the bicycle man, dude. That was Gordon Jones.
Balloon blowing clown man.
Balloon blowing clown man. Oh no. What a horrible role to be casted in.
Black clown scared the shit out of me.
Oh no.
Black clown scared the fuck out of me.
No, we don't want any of those characters near the Van Dam fam.
None of that. Hey, Rob, before we close out, last week we mentioned about Triple E asked the question about mental health and what to do about medication and what to do about seeing a therapist and then family getting involved and throwing it back in your face. Randy Orton just did an interview with Stephanie McMahon, and he opened out about having panic attacks. And so I just wanted to read real quick and just get your insight and thoughts on this. But he said to Stephanie, my head was just going. It was like playing out all the scenarios, worst case. This is recent too, by the way. This is like during when he got his back surgery and everything like that. He said I was trying to go to bed at night and then not being able to lay down in bed because the mind would start going. And then all of a sudden I'd get like hot and have to get out of bed. And then I'd be like, everyone's sleeping in the house. And I'm out walking around our yard, just taking deep breaths. And I met an amazing doctor, and she gave me just pages and pages of information on how to deal with panic attacks and stuff. And then he said, I don't know that the medication ever worked, but it did make me feel not myself. So I didn't like the medication, but I kept taking it because I thought, well, I need to take it because if I don't, I'm going to have panic attacks. I was having them anyways, And I was like, honestly, it's been, what is it? June. It's coming up on 6 months since I've had a panic attack. So pretty... Like Randy opened up about, I had no clue he was going through panic attacks.
Doesn't he go on to say that he quit taking the medication?
Yes, I think so. I think he stopped taking it because, it wasn't working for him. And we were talking about that too, how it sometimes doesn't work for you. And it's kind of trial and error. And it's frustrating because it takes time for it to take effects. So, yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thing that happened to pop up after we just talked about it.
Right. Yeah. And like I said before, there's not like one formula that works for everybody, not in anything. And that is the actual foundation of all my beliefs. Anything that's RVDology starts with that. We have our own values. We're all different. And so anytime you group yourself into other people expecting to get the same results, if you don't get them, don't be so surprised. You didn't get what they got because you're not them, you're you. And I can't be clear enough with that. I've always tried to say that. So, Randy doesn't know if his medication was working or not. Maybe he didn't have the right medication. Also, maybe he didn't even need it. Maybe his brain chemistry sorted itself out in the same amount of time that he was on it. He also said he got pages of information on how to deal with the issue. So I'm going to assume also he was meditating, he was breathing, he was listening to soft music, whatever else was on those pages, he was doing as well. But when it comes to the medication, I can tell you for a fact that for some people like myself, there's absolutely no question about it. 2 weeks in from when I started, boom, all of a sudden I had a strength that I didn't have before. I couldn't talk about what I was going through without breaking down. And sometimes I would just start crying without even knowing, because that's what depression does. I'd just be, I was with my mom and sister at Cracker Barrel enjoying a meal, and all of a sudden I started crying. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know this was going to happen," and it would happen like that and bother me, at inconvenient times. And anyway, when I started taking the medication that the psychiatrist recommended, which was Lexapro. It ended up being Lexapro and Wellbutrin. Anyway, I was told by a very good friend of mine that that it would take like 2 weeks. And man, right at the 2 week mark, it just felt like all of a sudden I had a suit of armor on, because I would hit these conversations that used to trigger an emotional response, and all of a sudden I was able to talk about it, and I was like, whoa, it's been months since I could talk about my dad without bawling, and it was just like it made me like feel like so much stronger. Not everyone's going to get the exact same results. Not everyone's trying the same drugs. Not everyone's chemical balance or imbalance is going to be the exact same. We all produce our own different not Compton,
Oxycontin.
That's all I can think of right now. And
I know I can't think of the term either. What you're trying to think of?
Fuck.
Coding? I know.
Love. It's love. Oxytocin. And also, all of the hormones and emotions. It's like, man, there's a massive wiring up there in your head, and we're all different. We all respond differently when we look up at a fucking hot air balloon. Mm-hmm. We all, you know what I mean? We all respond differently if we look at a fucking rhinoceros, whatever it is. So why wouldn't we respond differently to drugs?
Yeah. Sorry, my cat's going off right now.
No worries. But I'm known as I heard, there was a comment. What was it about? I guess it was back when the internet was going crazy over the Sabu and Kratom, right? And they were trying to blame that on someone that gave it to him, like he wouldn't have his own Kratom. One of the comments that I read on YouTube said, I knew Rob is so pro drug. I knew that he was gonna stick up for the Kratom, right? And I am pro drug. That's because I'm honest. Because if I don't care who you are, if in your bubble drugs only mean the certain street drugs that you want that to mean, that's not the way it is in real life. If you go to a pharmacist and asks if he sells drugs, he'll say yes, not no. And by the way, whatever is on the street in your little bubble, you can get that over the counter legally in other countries. So that's why you can get that underground here as well. Plus, people do sell out of the pharmacy, out the back door, underground. And so for you might think drugs just refers to heroin, I'm trying to say. But no, it also refers to Adderall, whether somebody needs it because they've been diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, or whether they want it because it's a recreational drug for them. You don't get to decide which drug is drug based on your conversation. So am I pro drug? Yeah, I'm pro use. I'm also not pro abuse. I think drug abuse is bad. And I've lost a lot of friends from drug abuse, but I don't blame the fucking drugs. Drugs is the only thing that I can think of that people put all the blame on when people misuse it to death. Guns, half and half. Some people say, well, it's the people that kill people, and the other half say, no, it's the guns that kill people. They're not really sure about that one. How about when it comes to cars? Have you ever heard anybody try and get cars off the market because of the fatalities that cars cause, which is way more than drugs?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Nobody wants to get the cars off the market. Why not? Why don't we blame them?
Mm-hmm.
So drugs are the same way. And I got to tell you, I doubt that my wife is going to want to give birth to two twins without drugs. If you say drugs are bad and you don't do drugs and you want to give birth without having drugs, then that's fine. I found out that I had a high blood pressure recently. You know how I fix it? Drugs. Boom. Boom. And now my high blood pressure is good. And guess what? I found out 48 to 49% of men over like 45 years old have high blood pressure. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's almost half of everybody. So is there a lot of people out there that aren't going to take the drugs that are going to help their high blood pressure? I mean, there are other ways to fight it, you know, especially if you're holistic. It can eat enough beet juice and, you know, get enough healthy lifestyle changes. I already have a pretty healthy lifestyle, and I need drugs too.
I like beet
Pro
juice.
drugs. I'm thankful for drugs.
Yeah.
Amen.
Not all drugs, and I, you know, I'd be scared to death to go get drugs on the street with the fentanyl scare and not knowing what the fuck is in it or who's putting what in it. I'd be scared to death of that, and that doesn't mean I'm a proponent for that or for abuse just because I got the balls to say that I'm pro drug. You probably are too. You just don't know it.
Right. Exactly. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yep. Bruce, any thoughts too on, did you have like I don't know if you have like mental health stuff or anything like that, but did you have any perspective you want to give to?
I went through depression when my mom passed, and you know, everything was happening. You know, I became secluded and stayed in the house. Plus, you know, it was the side effects of COVID. We had to stay in the house. So that's what a lot of people don't realize is this whole entire world was sequestered for a year and a half, and that's why people are crazy.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. If the entire world is locked, is in seclusion, each person, they handle it differently.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people's attitudes have changed. That's why people's ideals. Some people's ideals have changed. We're all crazy. It's you're crazy if you don't accept that you're crazy. That's
it. I like it. Good stuff, Bruce. We'll close it with this meanie quote from Bill Hicks. Comedian Bill Hicks. I've had good times on drugs. That's a fact. I've had bad times on drugs too. Okay, but I've had good and bad relationships, and I'm not giving up pussy.
Oh,
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
That's a good point.
Amen.
Bruce, anything else you want to plug to the audience, that live audience here? And we'll be sure to include all your information below in the descriptions of the podcast too.
And I just want to thank both of you. Thanks for having me on, and I appreciate and thank you to the RVD audience out there. And that Jingles is back, motherfucker.
Boom. Back in business.
Hey, Bruce? Who's the comedian that like a lot of people compared me to him, but he died of heroin?
Oh, Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I wanted to add to Meanie's comment and say, as Mitch Hedberg said, I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too.
That is, you do have Mitch Hedberg kind of vibes. I get that. Yeah, I see that.
Man, I didn't find him until he's passed, but I love his sense of humor.
Yeah,
Dude, I got to open for him.
Really?
Awesome.
In Ontario. I got to do a guest set with him, and it was so weird, you know, because at that time it was they did 3 shows on Saturday nights. So you had a 7 o'clock and a 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. I didn't know
12 o'clock rock.
We're gonna know the original thing, the Happy Days. But I didn't know of his extracurricular activities. I didn't know about his habit. And you would see from 7 o'clock, each set was a different hymn.
Wow.
Like he would come in slow, sluggish, and then at the 9 o'clock, after the 9 o'clock, he'd do what he would do. And that was the best show you would ever see in your life. You will put that forever in your top 10. And then the 11 o'clock was smooth. But the material was more honest. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was ad-libbing a lot more. He was going at, just going from the top of the head. And that's what I appreciated.
I
Sadly,
think we would have been pals if he would have stuck around.
Oh, no doubt.
comedy itself would be way different.
How about that? Yeah, I know. It's the landscape is. You were right though, Bruce. The landscape of comedy just totally changed over the course of the past few years. It's been nuts.
He was the last of the Stephen Wright style comedian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That 80s, the heyday comedian that came up with the obscure thought.
You're right.
And then now there's no more obscure thoughts.
Mm-mm. No.
Now they're either doing crowd work or just telling stories.
They're less afraid to take risks. They're more afraid to take risks now too, it seems.
Yeah. So the obscure comic is a dying art form.
I'm making my comeback, damn it.
Come on. We're getting there. We're getting there.
I'm going to make it back to the second bottom step.
We can do the training videos. We can bring
yeah. Yeah.
Black Killer Kowalski. I'm Black Killer Kowalski.
Black Killer
Kowalski into a comic. And then we have him train in Black Barbershop.
Killer Kablaski.
Yeah. Killer Kablaski. How you doing?
I like
the training ground was the Black Barbershops.
That's fantastic.
Because everybody laugh in the Black Barbershop.
You're good. You're good then. Jem the Don did add, he says, great show and guest. RVD Pod, awesome part of my week. Yeah, he put you over pretty good in here, Bruce.
Thank you very much. Yeah. I really appreciate you guys.
Well, thanks for coming, Bruce. And it's cool to see your stuff. And I'm excited to check it out and see what it's like and everything. So
thank you. And everybody follow me on Instagram or any of my social media platforms at Bruce Jingles, BruceJingles. And then see a black dude, that's me.
That's it.
Well,
Blue Meanie added a Mitch Hedberg quote too.
Oh.
I love my FedEx guy because he's a drug dealer and he doesn't even know it. And he's always on time.
I love Mitch Hedberg. Hey, I'm looking at the chat room right here. I just wanted to say J. Thomas Cassidy said they got married by Elvis here in Vegas. I just wanted to say I actually did a wedding gig the other day. Like it was something that was here, and it was an interesting like party gig.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say too much. I felt like I was I don't know. I didn't feel like everyone was as happy as they should have been about what was going on there. That's the safe way to put it. But interesting deal where we all just
were exuberant.
We all drank and then we went to eat with them and had a party. And no, it was just like it
was a blast.
The heads of honor, I don't know if they didn't seem as excited for what was going on. I mean, they were getting married for goodness sakes. But Kalisto was there and Mojo Rollins.
Yeah, Mojo. Yeah, Mojo.
Stuff like those, that 3-pack of wrestlers was in the. There's a really small little thing like where I think I've been there before. I think Elvis married some of my friends there, but it's a really small room, so it's it doesn't fit too many people, but that was cool. But anyway, also last week, what did I do? I went. Didn't I have a?
Chicago. Didn't you go to Chicago?
Yes, to the
ballpark.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of damn, my jet lag's heading in now. Somberg or something like that.
Schaumburg, Illinois.
Schaumburg, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Boomers. Schaumburg Boomers was the where it was. It was a baseball game, there was a wrestling show afterwards, and RVD signing before and during all of it, I guess. That was cool.
What's that? Where all the John Hughes movies were set?
Oh, really? In Schaumburg?
I've never heard of it.
I believe so. It's a suburb of Chicago, correct?
Chicago.
It is, but it never comes up in my mafia investigation.
No
Yeah,
mafias.
I believe
I'll
that's
recognize
where
it if it does, but yeah.
I believe that's
Look
where all
at-
the John Hughes movies were set.
That's hilarious.
But I was somewhere before that because I came home and had to go there and was tired already. And then anyway, Thursday, New Orleans, OWA. This will be the third show.
Next Thursday?
Yes, sir. The 10th of July.
Right.
So we won't be able to do our show on
Mhm.
Thursday. We'll have to move it. We'll talk about that. But also on Saturday, I'm in Arlington, Texas at what I believe is a Starcast.
Oh no, it's yeah, you're right. Starcast. It's for the All-In weekend for AEW All-In weekend, and then Starcast is part of it. So you'll be at Starcast.
Boom.
Giddy on up for Texas, baby.
On the 12th of July.
On the 12th of July. July.
So,
I'll be in Mexico. I'll be in Mexico in Ensenada.
Ace Verdad.
Yeah, at the end of the week on July 12th.
Whoa.
Yeah, just follow me on Instagram if you're in Mexico. Come by.
Vamos.
Yeah.
Dude, that's gonna be so much fun. I get a beach house to myself. So,
Chicos con pechos grandes.
Buenas noches.
Listo taught me that.
There you go. There you go.
Cool. Well, thanks for spending your Sunday evening with us, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
It's always been a good time. We'll see you guys all.
Again, Mike Riggs on your 30th in a row in Lakewood.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Bruce Jingles. Thanks, Dominator.
Yeah. See you guys next time here on One of a Kind with RVD. That's RVD.
RVD, motherfucker.